Packers make a couple of signings that I think are good, and I'm kind of excited about them. One of them is a linebacker out of Michigan, Michael Barrett. Why am I excited about him? Well, he was the heart and soul of a defense that went to three Big Ten championships as well as a national championship. He earned all Big Ten honors. This is the captain of their defense. He's a leader. He's not afraid of the big stage. He's been there, done that. I was talking to a devout Michigan fan. I was like, hey, listen, what are your thoughts on Michael Barrett? He said, I love the guy. He plays as hard as ever. He doesn't take any plays off. Of course, his size kept him out from going earlier in the draft than he did. He was selected in the seventh round by the Carolina Panthers in this year's draft before bouncing to Seattle and Cleveland. Now he's a part of the Packers. Why is that? Well, they lost Jamin Davis. Jamin Davis was poached by the Minnesota Vikings ahead of the Miami game, a game in which they may have needed to activate Jamin Davis because Isaiah McDuffie was in question with that ankle injury, and the Packers, of course, were down Edrin Cooper. So the Packers looked quite thin at the linebacker position. Michael Barrett is a guy that the Packers hopefully don't need to lean into at all this season, but this is a guy that Jeff Hafley could develop and absolutely could have an impact and will have an impact even on the practice squad because the guy has a motor that just doesn't stop. He's going to make everybody around him better. What do I mean by that? Well, let's take a look at this highlight here out of Michigan. Of course, when we start talking about the motor, he takes on the initial contact, gets to the next level, disrupts the quarterback in that pass play there. I really like this guy. Let's take a look at the scouting combine or scouting report from Michael Barrett coming out of Michigan into the NFL. Again, we talk about his size keeping him out from going a little bit earlier in the draft than he did. 5'11", 233 pounds. Let's take a look at some of the positives here for him. He's got good speed and movement skills to help him in coverage, allowing him to get to his landmarks when spot dropping. Carries most tight ends up the seam and mirror and match most tight ends. That's exactly what Jeff Hafley could use and develop there in Green Bay. Good eye discipline and zone coverage to locate threats, uses his hands to disrupt routes, accelerates well to help close in coverage. And when unblocked, this dude is a very good blitzer, physical run defender who isn't afraid to throw his body around. That's exactly what we were talking about by him not stopping and a motor that just doesn't quit. 2023 stats his last year in Michigan. He was a part of 15 games, 65 total tackles, 3.5 tackles for loss, 3 sacks, 2 passes defensed, as well as 3 forced fumbles, something Jeff Hafley's defense preaches all the time or preaches to his defense. Our takeaways. That's what Michael Barrett did at Michigan. So a really good addition to this Packer practice squad. Also, they bring on Marquise Hayes. I really like this guy. He was a guard out of Oklahoma. He was a part of the 2022 NFL draft. He was selected in the 7th round by the Cardinals. He spent his entire rookie season on the IR. He did earn all Big 12 honors when at college. He's got good size, 6'4", 318-pound, and he's a beast. Okay, so he's a tone setter. It says right here in the positives, excellent competitive toughness to get after defenders from snap to whistle. Really like that. He's got great grip strength with violent, powerful hands to deliver a stiff strike and contact before latching, sustaining, and gaining control. He works his pads under defenders on contact to dig them out on dive and down blocks with wide base and sustained leg drive to create displacement. Really like this guy. It says right here, quick processor with impressive play speed to sort through gap exchanges, stunts, and line games. Really good addition to the Packers practice squad. He was a 4-star recruit and he was a top 5 player in the state of Missouri. He accepted an invite to the 2022 Senior Bowl. Let's take a look at this highlight here where you can see him at left guard. There you can see his hand placement, violent hands like we talked about. Really like him. I think he's going to be a great addition to this Packer practice squad. Leave your comments on these 2 signings. I think they're good moves for the Packers. And as always, go Pack, go.